Hello and welcome to Running the Table, the podcast where we run through everything on the table in the world of sports. And Wild Card Weekend is over, and we'll turn the table to the divisional round of the playoffs. Our predictions episode breaking down each of the four games. Tim, are you ready to go?
Hey, we had one hell of a weekend of games this past weekend, but got some great ones ahead. Let's run it.
Yes, sir. The first game that we're going to run through pits the Jacksonville Jaguars against the Kansas City Chiefs. What a way
Oh
for
boy.
Jacksonville to win it. And Kansas City, they've been sitting at home preparing for this game, although I'm not sure they were ready to play the Jaguars. I'm sure they expected to play the Chargers.
I mean, it's
However,
the NFL. Anything can happen. You got to prepare for both sides.
on any given Saturday or Sunday or Monday or whenever these games are played. But for me, it's Pat Mahomes, it's Andy Reid, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll find a way to get it done. Trevor Lawrence and Doug Peterson, they've been making magic, especially in that wild card round, but they're not quite ready yet. It was a great run. I'll take the Chiefs.
Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs have had plenty of time to prepare this one. Obviously with the bye, and then obviously they've been pretty healthy because they haven't had to play their starters very much lately. And they're going to be the better prepared team. I mean, they have the experience, they have the head coach and the quarterback, and the tight end, and even some of those key members of defense who have been here before, and have been through this rodeo. And also you're playing in Arrowhead. Arrowhead is just a tough place to play. So having the one seed is obviously really important for these types of games, but I don't see any real reason why the Chiefs don't come away with this one, because all the signs of experience, everything that makes a team a good playoff team, the Chiefs have at least a notch on the Jaguars.
The next game that we got to run through pits the New York Giants against the Philadelphia Eagles, a
Divisional matchup,
division
divisional round.
rival, round three. And the Philadelphia Eagles, they came into the playoffs kind of limping a little bit. The Giants, they're flying high from their win against the Vikings. They're going to go into Philly with a lot of confidence. I'm sure it'll be a close game, but with Jalen Hurts having an extra week to rest, the talent on both sides of the ball on Philadelphia's team, they'll find a way to get it done. I like the Eagles to move on to the conference championship.
I mean, this is a tough matchup because this is a matchup that we've seen before. And when teams play each other multiple times throughout the year, I mean, you talk about this is part 3. You start seeing a lot more things than in a general matchup. So this preparation goes far past just the personnel that you're playing. But I love the way that the Giants have looked these last couple of games and the momentum that they've had. But getting Jalen Hurts back makes that Eagles team exponentially better. And as much as my heart tells me that I want to stick with Danny Dimes and the Giants, the matchup,
I mean, you
in
could always
terms
bet them to cover, Tim.
and you know what? And I probably would. I don't know what the line is, but this should be a very, very competitive game, because the Giants are still going to do what they have done, and play efficient football. But the Eagles' ability on both sides of the ball to make those big plays and really spark some massive momentum switches, I think is just going to fall in their favor, especially with them being at home. I got to take the Eagles as well.
We have a rematch of a game that was supposed to be played, but wasn't. The
Yes.
Cincinnati Bengals take on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. It's going to be cold. It's going to be fun. Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. I can't wait for that one because this was the matchup that we were supposed to see, two of the AFC's best. But with the way Josh Allen and the Bills struggled against the Dolphins, they're going to really have to turn it around in a big way. You can't make the same mistakes against Joe Burrow. He and that offense will make you pay. I think they'll just be a little bit too much for Buffalo. So I'll take Cincinnati to go back to the AFC title game.
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of things to like about this Cincinnati team. Obviously, especially in their last game, their offense did not look fantastic, and you saw what a good defense can do to this Cincinnati offense. But the same goes for the Bills. The Bills have had some great success on offense, but they are facing a Cincinnati defense who has also played pretty darn well, and they limited the Ravens for the most part in that game, and that's what kept them in the game. Those big defensive plays.
And Tim, the mark of a complete team and the mark of a champion is when your strengths aren't exactly your strengths. When you're not playing at your best, who can step up and who can make a
Yeah,
play? And against the Ravens in the wild card, it was the defense. So when
it
you
was the
have
defense.
both
Yeah.
sides of the ball stepping up, that makes you a pretty tough team to beat.
Yeah, for sure. But the one thing that I do like that we saw out of the Bills in the first round is their ability to spread the ball out. Not only did Stephon Diggs have a great game, but I mean, you also bring in Gabe Davis and even Dawson Knox, and spreading that ball out and making the defense respect all of your different options. And in this one, I look for the Bills to, they may not have necessarily been 100% ready or prepared for what the Dolphins brought to the table, considering the fact that they were obviously a very injury riddled team. But there's a reason that the Bills were, marked as a Super Bowl contender and a Super Bowl favorite going into this year and going into the playoffs. I think they're gonna wrap some things up, and I believe that the Buffalo Bills will be able to move on. I didn't even mention the fact that for the Bills, I mean, we all know exactly what they're playing for too. They're not playing just for the game of football. They're playing for everything and beyond this season, and everything that happened with Damar Hamlin's situation, and seeing the improvement that he's had. There's so much emotion riding into this game that I really do feel like they're going to really come out with a fire lit under them.
Yeah, emotion can either, yeah, it is like a fire. It'll either light up your whole house or burn it
Or
down,
burn it
which,
down.
yeah, which one happens is to be
That's
determined.
why
But
we play the game.
now we'll go over to the West Coast for the Cowboys and the 49ers, an ancient rivalry
Ooh,
renewed. It's not
yeah.
quite like the mid 90s. It's a different brand of football,
Yeah.
but I don't understand what the hype is around Dallas now that they beat the brakes off of a bad Tampa Bay team.
Yeah.
Like the line, it started off as almost even. It was San Francisco -3.5, which is mind boggling to me when you have a quarterback that's on fire, a team that's on fire that can't be stopped. I think they will roll the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, this one's really interesting because I think one of the things that people have paid attention to and have looked at for specifically Dallas in this playoff run is throughout their season, they've had runs of great and then a couple games of terrible. And they've won 2 in a row, they've won 4 in a row, followed by losing a couple in the row. They ended the season on that very sour, poor note. And then they went to start the playoffs having a fantastic game. And people are like, okay, are we seeing some of this again? Are we seeing the momentum switch and Dallas's couple good games in a row? And I think that's why some of them have built so much momentum heading into this game, because they put together such a good performance in the first round. But as you said,
I don't understand it though.
it's
It
against
it doesn't
the
erase the
Buccaneers team.
clunkers that you've had at the end of the
Yeah.
season.
Yes. And my worry is the offense and the way that they choose to attack and handle that 49ers defense, because we've seen the Cowboys offense be one, especially under Dak, that is prone to turning the ball over. And with a team like this against the 49ers, that's a team that's going to make you pay for your turnovers. They're a very efficient offense that just does exactly what they need to do. Nothing too crazy, nothing way out of control. I think the 49ers will make the Cowboys pay for their mistakes, regardless of whether or not they have that high-flying offense. The 49ers just have too much going for them, I think, to lose this one.
That's all we got for our divisional round predictions. We'll see how they stack up. We should have 4 very fun, very exciting games, and we'll be looking to recap those once they finish up this weekend. But if you like what we do, we have all of the wild card games that we predicted and recapped, and we'll be bringing you a lot more content as the playoffs goes on and after that. So like and subscribe, and until next time, we out.